We drank that cooler full of kale in, well, less than a week. About half a week. So, yay us. Well, this is the last. I shouldn't say we drank because I just about. There. Done. It's not that hard. It only takes a few seconds that way. Delish. So, I don't eat gnocchi very often, but I do love them. So, boy, my glasses are filthy. I really have to clean them. We're going to talk about this a little later. Well, James will talk about it. I'm going to read off some while James drinks his lovely kale juice.
Oh, I'm going to get that bread.
No, it's done. It's moldy. That's it.
I got some of it. Is there some?
Well, I threw it in the garbage. It's all gone now.
That's wonderful. Okay.
This was from activebeat.com. Common symptoms of bipolar. So you can go ahead and drink and eat. Enjoy.
I just want to listen to this part.
Okay. So one is mood swings. Manic periods can last a few days to months, as can depressive counterparts. So this isn't just like, oh, I feel a little sad and now I feel happy. No, this is very different.
Well, the down periods are like tend to be suicidal. This is where the problem lies. I can't see where manic stuff would be that much of a problem aside from drug abuse and spending too much money, risky behavior, stuff like that. So it can have its problems. The real problem is the down periods, but the severe swings. So during the manic periods, here's one case I was reading about. The person was talking so fast you couldn't distinguish the words. Fact is, when they amped him down with some medication, still talking too fast. You could kind of sense there were words there, but too fast to be understood. When he was without the medication, you just couldn't really distinguish the words. So this is extreme sort of stuff. Like
I'll get to that.
Don't be self diagnosing at home.
No, and definitely don't trust your general practitioner because they don't know.
They've got no clue.
You need to go to somebody with
borderline personalities
that actually has some skills. So,
in other words, some of the doctors that I've had the privilege to deal with are wackazoid. So in other ways, sadistic or whatever. I'd call them highly neurotic because they psychotic to me means not able to function.
I should mention that I'm talking about the bipolar symptoms because the main character in this series is bipolar. And
or
so
I said to me,
or
she's been diagnosed as that. That's what she says.
Yes, and we have no reason not to believe that.
Well, she's been on medication. She hasn't really been wild and crazy like what we were talking about.
No, but they do talk about about her risky sexual, lots of all that sort of stuff.
Oh, they portray it too, don't they? Yeah, a little bit.
No, she's medicated, and she has some issues with. She developed I think she was saying in this a lithium tolerance, and so they're having to work with that.
I haven't heard of that,
I don't know.
It could happen, I suppose.
I have no idea. So anyway, number 2 symptom, euphoria, feel unstoppable in pursuit of goals. Number 3, rapid speech, which James mentioned.
Very rapid speech. Like, don't be diagnosing. I actually was diagnosed by some bozo who had a degree in medical something or other.
Yeah.
I was on steroids. And I was
you were amped on that stuff.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heavy. So
And-
I would take a pill that was 20 times a entry-level steroid. In other words, a topical cream or something like that, a corticosteroid. But you see, the trouble is I take 10 of those at a time, so that's 200 times.
Oh, you'd be
right?
awake for like a week.
No,
It was
no.
incredible.
It was the first day
there
after
was the
using-
one problem where you thought you were supposed to take more than you were, and we went into the doctor's. Remember, and you told your doctor, you were like, you told him about how much you were taking and that you couldn't sleep and this and that, and he just kind of laughed and he told you to take it. I was there, so you were taking it. You
daily
were.
instead of
I
once a
don't
week.
know. Yeah, something like, I don't know what it was. You were taking a huge amount at once or something, and
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But it was
Anyway,
you'd misunderstood the directions.
Yeah.
So that was when it was really, really incredible. Was when you.
Yeah, at any rate,
But
you know, like it would be the first day, the night of taking it, I wouldn't be able to sleep. And then the next night it'd be like 6 hours of sleep, and then I'd have to catch up. So it was taken on a weekly cycle. I only take that once a week. Now, you know, I read Patty Duke's autobiography, I believe it was, and she was bipolar. I think diagnosed correctly as bipolar. And what got her on it, the first jag, was steroid use, right? So, and I don't know if she even got infused with it or whatever, but I think it was an infusion. But I don't know if it would have been like the dose that I took. And what happened to her is what happens apparently to a fair number of manic depressives. That inability to sleep puts them into a manic period. Isn't that weird? Drives them into it.
yeah.
You know how many times I've gone through that? 80 times. And I ain't. See how slowly I'm talking?
Oh, with
manic.
the steroid stuff.
If I had
Yeah.
any tendencies towards
He
it,
wasn't taking steroids so that he could bulk up. It was cancer control.
fallen into it. Okay? But yeah, she was in a medical some other discipline, and she thought she knew medicine. And she'd run across someone who'd been gibbering and jabbering in a hospital, right? They do things like the equivalent of ride-alongs. And what she didn't realize is that guy would have been medicated to the gills, and he was still gibbering and jabbering.
Yeah.
See how stupid she was?
So
stupid. If you're watching it, you're stupid. I was very nice to her, you know.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what I was going to say about that, because I don't remember that far back, so.
Well, you weren't there when she did
No, what I was going to say about rapid speech. I wrote this down to.
Okay,
anyway.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just chucking
4.
stuff in. I hope you
No,
don't
that's
mind that.
good. It's sometimes. Yep. Okay, racing thoughts. Overanalyze thoughts. Oh, I was going to say, coffee. If I am talking a little faster than normally, I probably snuck some coffee.
It could be.
Yeah,
you
I'm
never
really-
get to the point where any sensible person would say you were manic on coffee. I mean, the thing that I notice is sometimes maybe you get a little bit grumpy. Because sometimes they'll ask me, I shouldn't, so you had coffee this morning. Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't ask that because I know what you mean. And if I'm already grumpy, I know what you're saying.
Oh,
so.
what I'm saying is, it's not, it is, just try to amp it down because it's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, well, it's what it is.
Yeah. All I'm saying is it's noticeable. So.
Probably is for me too. Can't help anything about it. I just got to work through it. Whatever. Number 5, irritation. Number 6, increased physical activity. Could be excessive exercise or compulsive sex, risky or excessive sex, with no regard for consequences like STDs or pregnancy. 7, careless use of drugs, alcohol. 8, decreased need for sleep during manic episodes. Individuals may need less sleep, but won't feel tired or exhausted. This symptoms is often mischaracterized as insomnia.
No.
But with insomnia, oh, you feel exhausted.
Yeah. But we've been together almost 16 years. I always wanted my 8 hours of sleep. I might have rolled and turned, like with snoring and stuff like that. Always wanted my 8 hours. 8 hours. Now it's like 12 hours.
Oh yeah.
With the chemo.
I've never been at a point where I'm like, oh, I gotta stay awake and get things done, wee. No, I want to sleep.
Exactly.
I like sleeping at night. I have certain times that I sleep between.
If anyone ever suggests you're manic, or like it's ridiculous, because
ridiculous.
You sleep like a log when you fall asleep.
Like I'm dead. 9.
I've never seen anything like that.
Missed work. A common symptom is the inability to maintain a schedule.
Yeah. So you miss. Medical humanities expert. Miss work. Let me see. Did I ever show you all the cups I got from the city of Lethbridge for?
He has a cupboard full of perfect attendance mugs.
Yeah, it's just like a setting for a banquet. Like it was year after year after year after year.
It's hilarious.
And you miss sleep. What else was it? What were they talking about there? Risky behavior and spending money. I'm not as good at spending money or not spending money as you. But I'm pretty good. What's the evidence? Pauline actually owns her own home. I own my own home. Pauline's the only person outside of myself I know that actually owns their own home.
I paid for it full within 5 years.
Yeah, I paid for mine full. I could have paid for it
paid
right
in
away.
Cash.
Yeah, I paid it in cash, $65,000 down on the barrel, and I borrowed money, $15,000, but I had that paid off in 15 months, $1,000 a month. So. I kind of am able to handle money pretty well. I had it saved up. Fact is, what was I able to do? Oh yeah, when I was a young pup working 6 hours a day, there was a year or two where I stashed away $10,000 a year on a janitor's wages. You try to do that. So careful with money.
No.
Oh yeah. Do I abuse alcohol? I don't think I ever drink it, right?
No. Neither one of us is
drugs,
bipolar. And
yeah.
I'm not reading this to suggest that either one of us is. We're not.
No. What I'm saying,
but
though,
I
is
did
don't
have
go
somebody accuse
diagnosing
me
yourself.
of it, and I did have.
Yeah.
And James is saying he also had somebody.
Well, she wasn't accusing.
Well,
she thought
whatever.
she was showing off, right?
No, the guy who was saying that I was bipolar, he was trying to act like he was being all caring, and
you were mentioning
not.
that. Oh no, it was awful. That was awful. No.
He was trying to drive me crazy.
I think he was, and you weren't even close. So whereas I think he was always a little borderline.
But anyway, there's a lot of the symptoms for bipolar are similar to if you have a psychotic break.
Absolutely.
Or if you have a mental breakdown. So
it can be similar to
it could be something else. So say if you have an anxiety disorder, you may have a psychotic break or a mental breakdown due to stress because somebody is trying very hard to break you. They're really, really pushing. And like to the point that any person would break, and you're dealing with it. You're thinking, oh well, I've handled stress before. And this is me, No, it's somebody else is putting that on you, and you have to change your circumstances somehow. You have to get out of it. You can't allow people to abuse you. So, if you have an anxiety disorder, like say. If you know your OCD, you may not know your OCD. You might be going through life, and you might be really organized, and you might every time you walk somewhere, you always walk the same way. You can't handle change very well, so you like routine. Well, you're not bipolar, because that. You know that right away from that inability to maintain a schedule. boy, you can maintain
Just
a
the
schedule
opposite,
if you're
yeah.
OCD. Yeah. So, if somebody accuses you, or they're trying to, oh, I care about you so much, and this is why, I really love you when you're really up, but when you're down, and you're thinking, when am I really up? I just seem to be down all the time, and then they're accusing me of all this stuff, and anyway, I'll continue with the symptoms. Number 10, fatigue. Well, when in a depressive episode, individuals experience extreme tiredness and fatigue. So, I don't know, like, if it seems like you're tired, maybe set up the camera and figure out why you're so tired. What's going on at night? And don't tell anyone. Don't tell the person who's stressing you out. Even if you really firmly believe, if that person has made you believe that they care so much about you, because you want to believe that. You want to believe that the person that you're in a relationship actually cares about you. You want to believe that they care about you as much as you care about them. So you're not going to want to believe that they're actually causing your stress levels to increase.
Everyone's got certain degree of stress levels,
stress.
and work situations and so on and so forth. But if someone who's your significant other starts behaving like an insignificant other, try and detect it.
Yeah.
It's tough sometimes, as Pauline was saying.
Yeah, you might need
so many people are loyal.
Get a camera that you can plug in, so that its battery doesn't wear out. But I don't know. Batteries last a long time now. You can set it. Anyway, chronic pain with no known cause. Now this is a great one for crappy general practitioners.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they don't want to actually do the work to figure out what's causing your pain, even if it's really obvious. Like, say you have wrist trouble, when all day what you're doing is operating a chainsaw and a hedge trimmer and other pruning tools, and then you're going home day in, day out. That's what you do, and somehow you have wrist trouble, and you go to the doctor. Antidepressant, anti-anxiety pills.
Because
that's a lot easier, right?
You wouldn't know someone who's gone through that kind of stuff.
And severe headaches is a common symptom.
Of
body
OCD,
aches.
or
with the chronic pain with no known cause.
Okay. Well, if a person doesn't drink enough water.
And they say here
they're gonna get
antidepressants offer most effective relief from this type of pain. So.
You know what the most effective relief for headaches? You have noticed that I rarely get headaches, right?
Well, he drinks lots of water, but
Yeah,
it wouldn't work for me.
Take a lot of water. Take aspirin with a lot of water.
By something else.
And what happens is when your brain is short of water, it swells up and kind of like rubs against or presses against its case, which is the skull, from the inside. So the whole thing is, I can remember one time, the cop shop, I'm working there. Guy said to me, "Man, I got a splitting headache." And I'm going, just try this. It'll take about an hour. So, funny thing is sometimes people listen to what I say. Most of the time don't. Especially when they're professors or stuff like that. They're too smart, especially for a worker like me. Anyway,
so
he came back about an hour and a half later, and he gave me one of these punch buggy punches. Wham! And I go, wow, what is that? And he said, I tried what you said, and boy, did it ever work. There you go. That's just one case.
This is chronic pain with no known cause, and it's probably that you just have a series of crappy doctors. Like, it's more likely that you just have not gotten the medical treatment that
my experience
you need.
Of GPs
Honestly,
is 90% of them should be scrubbing out toilets.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not even that. I used to
so
scrub out toilets.
I don't like seeing this.
No.
Because when I went to my doctor, he asked if the antidepressant, anti-anxiety pills worked, and I was thinking, yeah, they're definitely doing something. And then I said, yeah, they work, but I said, what did I say to him? I wanted to qualify it so that he knew what I was meaning, so he wouldn't just say, oh, well, yep.
I'm a genius.
No.
I want everyone
so
to
I
think
said, they make so I don't care. I still, what did I say? I say I still have the pain, but now I don't care so much about it. So I was making sure that he knew that it didn't help my pain, you know.
But did it get through to both?
No, it didn't.
No.
He didn't run any
I almost
tests
said
or
bozo.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
So I mean, I was still having to live with the pain.
Well, it's not just that dizziness. You fell down the stairs.
And
a couple
yeah,
of times.
they'd make me fall down the stairs.
Wow,
it was terrible.
Like like a Nantucket sleigh ride. It just bump, 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 and like you had bruising and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty severe. I don't know if it led to me having back troubles because I was on that pill and I kept going down the stairs. Anyway, James told me, I don't think you need that.
I just said right from the start, I don't
so.
think you need any. Before you went down the stairs, I just had a feeling about your personality, and it turns out I was right. You know.
Anyway.
I'd already experienced doctors. I knew it. I knew what they were like, what bozos.
Another symptom, sadness, hopelessness. Another common symptom is a near total loss of interest in activities that patients once enjoyed, including sex. So, if you are in a relationship and your spouse is making you have sex that you don't want. So this is sexual acts that you have repeatedly said that you didn't want it, and you're having to put up with it. Because what are you going to do? You could leave, but you honestly believe
oftentimes there are kids involved.
Yeah, or you believe that your spouse really cares about you, and that this is just commonplace, and you know, what are you complaining about, or whatever your reason is, you're putting up with it. Well, if you have a loss of interest in sex, it's probably because it's not good for you. If you're not enjoying it, don't have it with that person. Maybe you'd be better off having it on your own. And, you know, maybe if your spouse brings up, oh, I think you have a loss of interest in sex, and is trying to convince you that you're bipolar, to say, oh no, I have plenty on my own now. And see what happens with whether your spouse still thinks that you're bipolar. Just, no, I have lots of interest in sex, but I'm only doing it with myself because I don't want that act anymore. Try that one out. Anyway, suicidal thoughts, withdrawal from friends and family. Now, my ex was calling up my friends, and because he cared so much that he wanted my friends to help me with my mental problems. And my family, he was calling my dad and yelling at my dad, accusing my dad of having molested me and all this stuff. And so, like, stressing my dad out, which I think led to his cancer. I mean, honestly, when you stress a person out to that much, to that extent, then yeah.
Wow, that's shameful that he actually was,
yep.
I never knew that he was accusing.
He was doing that.
Wow.
And he was just constantly trying to push my family away from me. So I didn't have anybody but him. And so I saw that when it was happening with a loved one later on. So anyway, I mentioned foods to help anxiety and depression. Kale. You see how much I drink? Anyway, kale is full of lots of B vitamins. So
is it? I didn't realize.
Yeah. And recently my aunt, I was visiting her, and she worked in a hospital. I don't know. She worked in a hospital. She still works in a hospital.
Is that Roseanne?
She's worked in there. No, Pam. She's worked in there her whole life.
Her
whole adult life,
really
and I don't know.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that she gave me this advice. She was, because I was saying that I was depressed. Well, my reason for depression is that I'm going through perimenopause, and I wanted to have a child. So this is absolutely devastating for me. So that's where it's coming from. It's not because I'm not having enough kale. You know, it's sometimes when
you've got circumstances that are
and then
tough
you're trying to work through them, right? So anyway, she said, well, take lots of B vitamins, you know, and she was, so it's not that I'm not taking enough, because you saw that cooler, that's a lot of kale that we drank since, what was it, Wednesday? It's
been a lot of kale.
A lot of kale. So we get a fair amount of B vitamins. And
is it the full complement, or are there certain types of B vitamins that
I can print it off for you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So it also has magnesium in it, which is also good for that. So and have an Epsom salt bath.
Magnesium with nuts, but here you got a.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure the camera's still going. Yep, we're still rolling.
Hey.
So I might have time for all this. So vitamin D, which James's brother suggested that I go hiking because I love it. And that's bound to make me happier to actually go hiking, honestly. Whether, you know, or if it's something else that you love doing, that'll probably help.
Golfing.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, someone called that a good walk ruin, but
some people love
stressed out about it.
But
good way to get
it's hiking, so
in.
I can get some vitamin D. And omega-3 may treat anxiety. So try those things. And it's not just a little bit. Don't get those omega-3 gummies. No, you need some serious omega-3. So if you like eating meat, switch to salmon. You get some wild-caught salmon. That's lots of omega-3 in there. So try that. Sardines, mackerel. Be careful
mackerel,
about which mackerel you go for.
Some of them would have a lot of toxins.
Yeah. Sure. What else? Anyway, you can look it up. And if you don't eat meat, then lots and lots of flax seeds. So you can grind up your flax seeds that you buy in the coffee grinder.
You have to, right? You have to grind it up somehow.
Yes, you have to. Or you'll just, or it's like roughage.
It'll just go right through you.
So, anyway, oh, I forgot to mention the changes in appetite thing. So, if you're bipolar, you might not eat for a few days, or you might overeat, whatever. But, I mean, as I was saying, a lot of these symptoms are similar for a break. So, you have a mental breakdown, and you might experience some of the same symptoms. But once you return to, you take away the stressor, and boot them out the door, then and you return to your normal schedule that you like to have, you're gonna be okay probably. So just lay on the omega-3, the B vitamins, and magnesium.
They give you the strength to do this stuff to get rid of the stress too. That's a nice thing
for sure
about having a really healthy diet. Not just a healthy diet, but one that's really powerfully healthy.
You can have my corn if you want.
I was hoping. You know that?
Okay.
Thanks.